What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Yards After the Catch podcast. NFL edition. We did a college football edition. We're now going over to the NFL, and we're having a lot of fun right now because training camp has started. I'm your host, Alex Young. I'm joined with the core four again, back together, getting things right. As it's been a minute since the four of us have done a podcast together. It's always great to be back with my boy Desmond. Desmond, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me back on the show.
Of course. The other Alex, Alex R. How you doing, my friend?
Happy trails, Fab Four, Core Four, Core Four. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Last but not least, Brian, how you doing?
We're reminiscing, we're making memories, we're having a night. So happy to be back.
We are
Keep it
having
rolling.
a night, and this one's gonna be quick, not too long of an episode. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna go around, pick our top three headlines for the 2026-27 NFL season, and then we'll do a quick update around some training camp news as unfortunate injuries already have started to pile in, and we'll break those down a little bit. But like I said, off the top, we got to go headlines. It's the start of the season. We're getting excited. Like I said, training camp started. Everyone's around the country throwing the football around, getting ready, practicing hard. I can't wait. It's football season. It just feels like yesterday that we're in the Super Bowl. Now we're already back. It's super quick how that all goes. But like I said, we're going to go through with our top three headlines. So this could just be really anything from comebacks, division winners, surprise teams, breakout players. We're going to do more of a deep dive with breakout players, but this is more what we think is going to hit that might shock people throughout the NFL season. So, Desmond, I'll
Yeah,
let you go with your first headline. What is it?
I think that surprisingly enough, I think the Houston Texans are going to be the number one overall seed in the AFC this year. They had the best defense in the NFL last year. They are returning all 11 players. They also took Reed Blankenship off of my Philadelphia Eagles. I'm very upset about
Hmm.
this. And they went and drafted the best D lineman from Ohio. Sorry, the second best D lineman from Ohio State to actually give them additional D line depth. They are also getting Tank Dell back. They're getting Nico Collins back. I really do think that CJ Stroud is not this like bum that people are making him out to be. He's actually had much better playoff performances than Justin Herbert, who constantly gets glazed over and over and over again. So I do see that the Texans have paid a little bit of attention to their O line. I think they're going to get it right the ship. And that defense is going to keep basically every NFL offense probably under 24 points, at least, if not under 20 points. They were the number two team with points allowed last year. Give me the Texans to surprise everybody and be the number one overall seed in the AFC going into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It's a great headline for Texans fans. So give Desmond some praise in the comments for rooting for your Texans. No, I
Texans.
love what the Texans done last year. I don't know the CJ Stroud hate. I know he had a little bit of a slump last year, but he's looked like he's tried to improve his game this offseason. I think he's added some muscle too. He's looking great. So I really like that headline, Desmond, for the Texans. I think they're going to be a team to watch, especially with that defense, because CJ just has to just kind of not cause turnovers and make mistakes, and that's what he did last year, right? At times
Yeah.
that took away from that defense. So if he just limits those mistakes and just does be the great quarterback we know he can be, watch out, Houston Texans, because that defense is special. Alex, I'll go over to you. What is your first headline for the
Oh
26-27
man,
season?
I had some nice Houston stuff too, but I don't want to double down this early, so I'll wait for the next rounds. For my first headline, I have a big showdown between the NFC North. I'm taking Chicago Bears to not only win the NFC North, but to win in very clear fashion. They finished the year playing all three right down the stretch. Packers on Christmas Day, and then you got right after New Year's, you got Lions and then Vikings to finish out the season towards the January 10th. I think this is clear and above the best team, but I think this is a very cannibalistic division. I expect them to take a little chunk off each other through the calendar year. I'm really excited to see what Ben Johnson does with the loss of DJ Moore, having Caleb in year two. Got a lot of moving pieces, a lot of fresh. Like Odunze is a phenomenal up and coming star. Colston Loveland's a fantastic player. They have a really like sky's the limit in terms of their development and their schedule. It's very favorable. They only play, Seattle. They got Tampa midway through the year, so you don't know Baker's health at that point. Jacksonville may be tricky, but other than that, I mean, it's a pretty clear schedule, and I see them. you know, making it very far. I would not be surprised if they're in the NFC Championship.
Yeah. I really like the Bears this year as well. Team to look out for. Another player to look out for. I'm going to talk about him in our breakout, but I'll say it real quickly. Luther Burden's getting a lot of attention
Mhm.
Yeah.
this offseason as another potential guy that can really shine for this Chicago Bears offense. Keep a lookout for him. But yeah, Alex, what you said, I think the Bears are poised for a big year, especially year two. Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams. I know a lot of people said that Caleb Williams kind of had some fluky throws, some Madden throws, and he had some video game throws. We saw it last season, but again, he definitely developed under Johnson. It's going to be interesting to see what he does in year number two. I'm also expecting big things from the Bears. Brian, what is your first headline?
So I think everyone knows my answer. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be an actual playoff team this year with possibilities of contending depending on where Christian Parker, who is now the most important coach on this team, leads us. Now, Desmond knows Christian Parker very well from his coaching staff on the Eagles. The
Yep.
man can convert players into studs, and we saw that right year in and year out. I think we have to look at Dallas as what is the missing piece, and that is defensive continuity with discipline and quality tackling, right? And as a result, and now if we look at the offensive side first, right? Last season they were second in the league in total yards and passing yards, ninth in rushing, seventh in scoring, and they only got better on offense. Now, if you look at the defensive side, they were 31st. Okay, but they're getting now a quality defensive coordinator, and you bring back now a healthy Quinn Williams and Kenny Clark, which you could say is maybe top two, probably number one best interior defensive defenders outside of maybe the guys on the Houston in the league. And you trade for Rashawn Gary, you get Donovan Ezeraku, who's listed on almost every major sports media site as one of the breakout defensive players in year two of his career, and you have Caleb Downs, the best draft pick for a quality pick, I would say,
I
in the
was mad
draft,
about that one.
and you're getting Kobe Durant from the Rams, who's one a very quality, Pro Bowl level cornerback in free agency. There's a lot of finesse here and craftiness that is occurring with this defense, where I think you could piece together a middle of the pack, team. If you're even 17th in the league in defense, you're going to make it to the playoffs with how good this offense is, right? So
Easily.
Yeah.
so everyone's being bearish with a 6-11 record or whatever it is, but it's like if you could just go up 10 points, in ranking in defense, you're going to win 5 games just off of that, right? A healthy CeeDee Lamb, a healthy George Pickens, quality in Dak Prescott, and Jerry Jones right now is supposedly in talks with getting another quality defensive player. I have a feeling it's a guy from a team that we all know of, Alex R over there, for a couple of first round picks. And if we
Yeah.
get him, I will be the happiest man in the world. In my opinion, that's like a Charles Haley kind of move of we used to do in the 90s out of nowhere, grabbing a top defender in his prime and making a splash. So I see them being a playoff team if it all holds well. And I see their schedule as can be hard, but a lot of teams are in a prove it year or confusion going on in like San Francisco, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, Baltimore really doesn't know what the hell it's doing still. So there's a lot of ambiguity in their schedule where, oh, it looks good on paper, but are these teams really even vetted yet to have a quality consistency that would make it a guaranteed loss? I don't see it.
Yeah. As much as I hate praising the Cowboys, I am thinking they're going to be a solid team this year. I have them second in the East. I think the Eagles are going to be a better team, but I think their big thing, like you said, Brian, was their defense last year because their offense was special when everyone was healthy. But their defense was just
So bad.
atrocious.
Abysmal.
It was
Yeah,
so
I
bad.
actually
So
I couldn't watch defensive
Yeah,
series. I've never experienced that in my life.
it
it
was
was
atrocious.
they were
Yeah,
32nd in points allowed.
yeah,
They were the
yeah.
bottom of the league.
The fact
Yeah.
that they
The
made
worst.
Russell like the fact that they turned me back into like, oh, Russell Wilson turned back the clock, like, oh, we got something here. That was I was like, that what is his defense? Like the fact that
Yeah.
you made Russell Wilson look like old Russell Wilson of old, where he gave Giants fans false hope that he's back. That's when I knew there was an issue. But again, I think your offense special you definitely the team definitely made strides to try to make that defense better. And if they are just any bit competent, they're going to be
Hmm.
a team to look out for. So I agree with you
Yeah.
there. I
I'll
don't
say
think
one
it's
thing about the defense is big is that they got older on average by 2.5 years, which people might think that's a detriment. I think
yeah,
it's a benefit with having a new defensive coordinator. You actually have experience on this
you need
team.
vets.
Because
Yeah,
what
you
I
need
noticed in
vets.
the last 2 years with Eberflus was the team was just filled with rookies on defense, and they had no idea what they were doing. There was no like sometimes when a scheme is bad and you know it as a veteran, you could at least rely on your natural God given ability and oh, I've been here before to sort of scheme yourself out of a bad scheme. These guys were just following blatantly into the wind, and there was just no help of adjusting.
No, yeah, like I said, I completely agree with what I say there. Cowboys definitely a team to look out for sure. My first headline, I don't know if it's crazy, I don't think it is, but I have the Colts missing the playoffs completely.
Mm-hmm.
We saw
Yeah.
what they did last year, which it looked promising through the first 7 weeks of the year, eight
They
weeks
were
of the year
eight and
until
two
8-2,
start
until
the year.
Daniel Jones tore his Achilles, then everything fell apart. They went all in. They got Sauce Gardner. They traded draft capital to get him. So everyone's kind of looking at this year because Daniel Jones just said he's going to be back for week one and feeling healthy and everything's looking good there. But to me, I just don't like the vibes with the with the Colts. There's no hate to Daniel Jones at all. Their GM, when asked if he deserves a contract extension, said pretty much no. We'll see what happens at the end of the year, which is kind
Damn.
of a very interesting take to have. Like he's like, no, I have one more year to go. Let's see how this ends up. Like you should be fighting for your job, especially at this point. That you swung a massive trade last year and gave a draft capital for. But the reason why I have them missing the playoffs is because their first half of the season is a gauntlet. They start off with Baltimore, then they have Kansas City, Houston, the Commanders, Pittsburgh. Then they have should be their first winnable game against Tennessee, but then it's Minnesota, Jacksonville, and Dallas. Like your first 9 weeks of the season, you have one one
Maybe,
decent chance
maybe.
at a win, maybe one decent
Minnesota.
chance. Like you
Yeah,
should win. You should be like the teams that you should beat in that 9 weeks, man, is probably Tennessee, Minnesota,
yeah.
and maybe Washington. Like you probably those three. But even then, like if Jalen Daniels take a step forward, Washington's going to be a formidable team this year. Minnesota always has a really good defense. You just don't know what the quarterback situation is at the moment with them. And then, like again, you have Pittsburgh with Old Man Rodgers, but their offense can still be solid. Their defense can turn back the clock a little bit. So, like your first 9 weeks, you're hoping to get you have 1-8 maybe. Like
It
you're
looks
hoping for
terrible.
more. It looks terrible. It looks terrible to start your year, which is why I'm sorry, Colts fans. I just don't have a lot of positivity if you guys make the playoffs. Again, you had a positive start of your year last year. Was that fool's gold? I don't know. Maybe you proved me wrong. But right now, looking at your first 9 weeks, and you go after Dallas, you have Miami. You should beat Miami, but your first 9 weeks of the year is pretty damn tough. So if you don't get your wins early, you're going to be in a world of horror, Indianapolis. So my first headline: the Colts, after all the positivity last year, going to fall flat on their face, and there's going to be a lot of changes in Indianapolis. They won't make the playoffs. Desmond,
Imagine going 1-8, getting a top pick in the draft eventually, and then realizing, oh, wait a second, we gave that away, and
we
the
gave
guy
it
that
away.
was on the team helped us get that draft pick.
I think. Yep. Exactly. So it's gonna be interesting to see when Colts fans start freaking out that they don't have a potential top five pick when their season is falling apart. Desmond, I'll go back over
Yeah.
to you. What is your second headline you want to give us?
Well, just really quickly, I would say that I hope that the Colts do the smart thing, and once they say that their season is bottoming out, they just trade Jonathan Taylor for a first round pick, and then maybe try to get themselves into the Arch Manning sweepstakes or something.
Mm,
Bring another
yeah,
Manning to
Yeah.
Indianapolis.
nebulous. Yeah, could work out for them.
Um, I have the wildest take on this podcast, I'm pretty sure, which is I believe that the Jets are going to finish the season with a winning record.
All right, guys, you heard it first. So we're gonna end the podcast right now. No, sorry, Desmond.
So, Nostradamus.
Go, Desmond. Give us your points as for that.
Hey,
This
you know
maybe
what? If
potential
this one
crazy take.
actually becomes true, I mean, this is the best clip of all time.
Oh yeah.
No, but in all
Yeah.
honesty, I do think that the Jets have assembled a lot of talent on this team. Like, it's actually kind of surprising when you look at the talent they've put around them. I really love the draft that they had this year. We talked about getting, like Bailey from Texas Tech, Sadiq from Oregon, getting Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana. They went and got D'Angelo Pons from Indiana. They still have Brees Hall on this team. They have Garrett Wilson. The defense, while it wasn't getting interceptions last year, which is unbelievable to me that a
Hmm.
team went an entire season without getting a single interception, which I feel like everyone should be fired for that. They still had a pretty decent defense last year. Their schedule is actually what sells it for me, though. They don't have a tough schedule at all. And I think if they get rid of Geno Smith, no offense, Geno Smith fans or himself, I like Cade Klubnik. I thought that he played pretty well at Clemson. If he becomes the quarterback, like for this team, maybe early October, I think they could rip off a few wins and find a way to win 9 games this season. I think there is a viable path for the Jets to be a 9-win team this year.
I,
I will go out on that limb.
I like it. I'm with you here. I'm
yeah,
all for it.
I don't
The
hate
schedule
it,
demands it, and the talent got a lot better.
I mean, the
but
schedule is
yeah,
kind of set up for them. They have a really easy schedule when you look at it. They got games against the Titans and the Browns and the Dolphins, and no offense, Alex, the Raiders and the Chargers and the Cardinals. I mean, like they have a lighter schedule. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for them to rip off a bunch of wins here.
Yeah, it's really just if Aaron Glenn actually is a coach or not.
coach. Yeah,
Will we
That's the
bench
thing.
Geno Smith when he inevitably starts messing up, which he will?
like
I mean,
I think if he falls flat, you have to do what the Giants did with Wilson. Is when
Yeah.
you know there's not enough gas in the tank left, you got to change something. And if
I mean,
Glenn
he didn't
doesn't
do
do
that
that,
with
he's not going to
Fields.
have a job.
He didn't do that with Fields last year.
He just didn't. He didn't like Fields though.
But he
That's
didn't
like
even
oh,
no. But I'm saying that he
oh,
didn't
like
like
give the
Fields, and
other
he
guy
still
another guy a
started him.
chance
Yeah.
because I feel like
Consistently just started him. That he should have been cut after week 3 or made the number 2 running back.
I
Aaron
feel
Glenn's kind of like
yeah,
pre-fired right now. Like everyone
yeah, he
knows that he's
is.
going to
Exactly.
get
He
fired at the
is.
end of the year. So I mean,
But
like, why not just try to win? You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
But with Fields, I feel like like the problem with having like a Tyrod Taylor on the bench is that you don't have like your future in sight, and they knew the third
Right.
string was nothing. Like
Yeah.
that was their issue. Like I feel that Dwight Glenn just tried to like hold on hope with Fields. Like he'll fix it. He's still young. He'll turn around. Like
Yeah.
he's the guy. He was supposed to be the guy to bring like positivity
Yeah.
and
He might
faith
not
to
be
the
able to
team.
throw, but he'll do a 70
Yeah,
yard rush and you win
yeah,
by a field goal.
exactly. And
Like
then if you go, yeah, if you
that's
go to
how
like
it
the
is.
Taylor aspect, everyone's like, oh, it's the old vet, like it's the old guy out there, like So that's I don't know,
Yeah. I
but we'll
mean,
see. But yeah,
Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, Omar Cooper Jr., Kenyon Sadiq.
yeah.
Those are your skill players? Come on now.
Like
Like I,
Glenn,
I love
yeah,
that. I
no,
The
love
like
that.
Madden team.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah,
Jets.
it's the
I
man.
like the talent. It's what Brian said exactly. Is what version is Aaron Glenn going to prove that he can be a head coach, or is this just an awful firing and he gets fired like week 5, and then it's Jets going to Jets, and then
Yeah.
everything's into chaos until
Just
next
end the
offseason.
season.
Yeah,
Jets.
yeah.
Just end it. Please make sure they play
And,
like ass when I go to show up
yeah.
in November.
It also doesn't help. Speaking of the Jets, that Plexico Burris this week just said that playing for the Jets felt like he was in a jail, and everyone was like, "Oh, everyone's so excited for the Jets." He's all the Jets fans with the talent, and then Plexico was like, "Yeah, man, playing there absolutely sucked, especially with the team across the hall." I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, come on, man. You drop this now, training camp. This is what you have to say,
That was crazy.
Alex. All right, what is your next headline?
Oh God. Well, I'm gonna kind of branch off what Desmond said about Houston riding the Houston hype train. I actually had Houston going into the AFC Championship and playing Buffalo. So that's my prediction. I love the roster change. The acquisitions that they made in the offseason. The re-signing they did. Will Anderson locked up for 3 years at 50 mil. I mean, obviously it's a huge premium, but he's earned it. Daniel Hunter coming back. I like that they signed Fairbairn too, because we know how kickers get spotty in the playoffs. If you want to make a deep
He's
run,
good.
you got a reliable guy. He's shown it over the past few years. But even like the lower level signings, like they got Schultz back on a 1 year. Trent Brown's locked in. They've cleaned up this O line. I love David Montgomery, obviously being RB1 now. I think the sky's the limit for them as long as Stroud stays out of his way. D'Amico Ryan has a lot to play for, a lot to coach for. I just, I really like this team. I would be shockingly let down if they were not in the AFC Championship. And we know they have a great history with Buffalo too, if we're going to game theory it out.
Yeah,
Opening game of the season for both of them.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
Could be,
yep. So it could be a
be a
prelude.
good sign. Yeah, a little prelude. I love the early season preludes, like the early week one, week twos, where we like, oh, this could be the potential AFC Championship game.
Right.
So we get to see that. Brian, what is your next headline?
I think the Tennessee Titans are an 8-9 win team. I just see the offensive. I see the before we go on offense. I see the Robert Saleh signing as one of the biggest of the season. A person that revamped his career basically after falling so low with the Jets, going back to the 49ers and showing that he could, make a top five defense out of duct tape and band-aids. Yet again, it just shows how quality of a coach he is. And now you look at how they went about the draft. You got Cornell Tate, you signed Wandell Robinson. You have Calvin Ridley coming back. Yes, he's older, but him at wide receiver three is probably the best wide receiver three in the league. You have Tony Pollard with the hope that Cam Ward continues to improve, and he showed it last year a lot of good quality in his play, and the defense is lights out after the signings, in my opinion, that they got in the offseason with Jeffrey Simmons manning it down. They got John Franklin Myers and guys like Cody Barton and Amani Hooker. The team looks like it's ready to jump up 6 wins. And really for Salah to make a splash as, hey, I'm still here, I'm relevant. That Jets thing was a fluke. Watch how actually I can play when I have quality around me.
It was weird watching Cam Ward last year because it
It
felt
was.
like to me he wasn't like getting the production that you would want to see, but it still looked good, if you know what I mean. Like
He
I
felt
felt
like he
like I
was
was
getting
Yeah.
held back. It felt like he wasn't like allowed to unleash. Like the playbook was like, all right, you only got 5 plays this
yeah.
entire game. You're gonna run those five.
Like when you're watching quarterbacks in the NFL, like within a couple of years whether or not they actually that they have it or they don't have it. And it felt like
Mm-hmm.
even though the Titans weren't winning, it felt like Cam Ward had it. It just wasn't
Yeah.
all like clicking yet. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
really interested to see what this looks like this year when he has this trio of wide receivers that actually is a really good trio of wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, I was sad that they signed Wandale, and all that.
It's a big
They can
loss.
keep Dable, and they can take the defense, the Giants defensive players too. Whatever. The only person I was upset with was actually Wandale. I just think he's just a consummate pro, and I think he's just going to fit so well with Cam Ward, just being a safety blanket out of the slot for him. He's just an explosive player. I like the Titans this year. Do I think they're a high 9-10 win team? No, 8, 9. Like I think they're going to jump up a few wins. I think they're going to be a tough team week in and week out. But overall, I think that again, it's just a learning curve season with Salah. I think from what I've heard from so far, I've been impressed with Salah. It seems like he's learned from the stuff with the Jets. And he has, other coaches around him who've had that experience in similar markets, i.e., Brian Dable, also with the Giants as his offense coordinator, who's done well with quarterbacks. So I think Dable and Cam Ward is going to be a duo to watch. But yeah, Brian, I think Tennessee is not going to be one of the worst teams in the league. I think they're going to be a team that shows a lot of promise. I don't know where it finishes, but yeah, I think the Titans are going to be a tough team a few weeks in once they kind of get everything settled and everyone getting on the same page and clicking.
Yeah, and
Um,
I also
yeah,
think one thing is a lot of people sleep on Tony Pollard.
yeah,
Him and Derrick Henry are the only two players in the league with 4 consecutive 1,000-yard rushing seasons.
yeah. I
Derrick
think people
Henry's
forget. Yeah,
timeless.
And
yeah,
like,
Derrick Henry is timeless.
yeah, he's timeless, but this guy's consistently season
Yeah.
after season
Yeah,
putting up and showing up with a bad cast of
yeah.
offensive line lately.
Yeah,
That's true.
I feel like Pollard doesn't get the love he deserves because he's on a losing team and people don't care about the Titans at the moment. Now there's some excitement, and I think hopefully there's a little bit more eyes on him because I think he's been one of the most consistent backs that people just
Yeah.
tend to forget about just because of the situation that he's in. But he's been a great bell cut back and a reliable guy
Yeah.
for the Titans for sure. Uh, my next headline is I'm going to be a bit of a homer here. I'm going Giants are going to be a wild card team this year. I got to get some sort of hope out of Harbaugh. It's been a miserable last few years. Let's have a great first wonder year with John Harbaugh. Like similar to the Dable run, we have some close wins here and there. We have a fun ride. I'm going to go Giants, wild card team. I know the first 2 weeks of the season look kind of daunting. You got the Cowboys at home, and then you got the
Kinda.
Rams back to back weeks. It's kind of tough. They might split that. Who knows? But then after that, you got the Titans, you got the Cardinals, you got the Commanders, you got the Saints, and then again it gets tough week 7. You got the Texans. You have a couple favorable matchups there to balance out your schedule. Get a couple wins hopefully on the board there, and then again You got Eagles, Commanders, you got Jaguars, Colts, who I said I don't have any faith in. Hopefully by week 12, the Colts are 1-11. So that'll be hopefully a fun matchup. And then again, 49ers, Seahawks, you got Browns. So there is pockets of wins in the schedule this year. I feel like they can split some games against the division. They played well against the Eagles in the past, last year. But now again with Harbaugh, who I think is coming in. I know people said that his speech was a little flat and a little cringy and all that stuff.
It
I'm
was
not a
something.
part of that. It's how John Harbaugh is, but I think he's just going to come in, have everyone attention to detail. He's not, the intimidating kind of coach like of Vrabel that everyone wants to compare Harbaugh to. He's a player's coach. He gets everyone on the same page. He will bite you in the ass when he needs to. So I'm excited for this Giants year with Harbaugh. Like I said, so my headline being a bit of a homer, Giants wild card year. Why not? This is kind of like I said, one of the years that I've had a lot of faith and a lot of excitement going into the year, and hopefully it doesn't crash and burn. Because coming off a Knicks championship, like I said, I have a lot of hope right now. I have a lot of things. I'm not pissed off anymore, guys. I'm a lot more relaxed now that one of my teams that I've been waiting so long for won a title, and now I've been waiting, 10 plus years for my other team to win a title. But that's neither here nor there. We're not going to that point. Let's just get into the playoffs, Giants. Come on,
Yeah.
first year Harbaugh playoffs. That's my second headline. Desmond, what's your next one?
Just really quickly, I want to say that when I saw that the NFC East was facing the NFC West this year, I was really happy that our games against Seattle and LA were both at home, and I feel bad that you Cowboys and Giants fans have to face both those teams in Seattle and in LA.
Yeah.
Sucks to
That's
suck.
easy. That's easy. That's fine. We love an away
LA,
game.
LA, LA, LA's fine. LA's not a true hope.
Seattle's not fine.
Seattle's
Se-
not fine.
Seattle's
LA,
rough, but
No.
yeah.
Dallas. If you recall, Dallas plays very well in Seattle lately. We beat
Yeah.
them with Des Bryant and the Terrence Williams catch. We beat them with a
Yeah.
wild card game with Russell. Like we own
Okay,
Seattle
okay.
when we're away. I'm fine with that.
We will
That
check
team's
in
that
later this
team
season.
that team might not that team might not make the
See how you
playoffs this
feel
year.
then. My last headline is Bengals head coach Zach Taylor is going to be fired at the end of this year after the Bengals miss the playoffs again. Um, I mentioned this in a previous podcast, but I was watching a football podcast like a year ago, and someone had mentioned the fact that they didn't understand why the Bengals were being so hyped because of the fact that the Bengals had the worst defense in like the NFL, not the worst, but like one of the worst defenses in the NFL like the year before. Didn't really change anything. And so why do we expect for the scenario to be playing out any differently? And then we saw last year how the Bengals defense was atrocious. And Joe Burrow, when he was healthy, had to put up like 35, 40 points in order for the Bengals to win basically any game. And I'm asking the same question again this year. You got Dexter Lawrence, but is that actually enough? Especially when you lose Trey Hendrickson. Now you're losing Shamar Stewart, who we saw got injured today. Where is this defense that's going to actually be improved this year? I don't see it. And I don't think that any quarterback, even Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Chase Brown, I don't think they can put up 30 points a game every single game in order to keep this defense essentially out of the spotlight. So, yeah, I have the Bengals not making it in this loaded AFC. I don't think they will be even a top 7 seed. I think they'll miss the playoffs again. And Zach Taylor, who should have already been fired, will be fired at the end of this year.
And with him, Joe Burrow goes to the Jets. I mean, that would be the dream. That'd be the dream for him.
That would.
Joe Burrow, I feel bad for him. Like Joe Burrow reminds me of like Peyton Manning in the 2000s when like the Colts had no defense whatsoever, and Peyton Manning was asked to score like 30 points a game to win every single game.
Yeah,
you
big
know,
Andrew Luck.
Yeah, that's what it feels like I'm seeing right now, and so I really do feel for the Bengals because I think their offense is elite, like maybe the best offense in the NFL, but it doesn't matter because you can't score that much every week.
So,
well, and also it's about the owner too, right? The owner doesn't want to spend money, right?
Yeah,
So if you're not going to go after, if you're not going to go after defensive talent, and you're in the middle of the pack record where you're in the teens for a draft pick, you're not getting the top defensive guy because they go in the first 10.
No,
so
the
it's
dude's
like,
cheap. He routinely doesn't spend all the money in his cap every single year. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like, go spend money on those players.
You could also make the argument, and I'm going to hype up Bengals fans in a second with my headline, and then we'll go to Alex and Brian. But You could also argue too, slightly that they overpaid for Dexter Lawrence with giving the
Oh yeah.
Giants a top 10 pick. Because I was even shocked by
I was
that move.
shocked by that.
I
I
thought
mean,
at most they
they
were going to get
ruined
a
the
second round
defensive
pick.
tackle market. They ruined the
Oh
DT
yeah,
market now. Vita Vea won't get traded because of that. They'll need 2 first-round picks.
probably. Yeah.
Probably.
But I think the Bengals got desperate because that's what they needed, and the Giants
They're a
just
terribly
capitalized.
run team. That's just what
Yeah.
it really comes down to. I feel
Yeah,
bad for their
exactly.
fans.
But to give Bengals fans a little bit of hope off of Desmond's, my third headline, and then we'll go to Alex Brown, is that, you know what? I'm going to say their offense is going to score 30 plus points a game, and the Bengals are going to be back in the AFC
Yeah.
Championship. That's what I'm going. Bengals are going to
Yeah.
be back, baby. Burrow is going to stay healthy, and they're going to just, their offense is just so fun to watch. I think they're just going to shred teams week in and week out. I think the defense is going to improve. I am nervous now. We'll talk about it in a second. With Stewart being down, which looks like it's a serious knee injury, probably out for the year.
Yeah.
So you can't lose more people on the defense. But I think enough's enough with everyone hating on this Bengals defense. Someone has to step up. Hopefully Dexter Lawrence again, who Giants fans are a little upset with at the moment because he still hasn't thanked us for helping him out and supporting him through his thick and thin. He hasn't really done anything to say thank you to the fans. A lot of Giants fans are like, hey, screw you right now. But I'm not that. I'm a huge Dexter Lawrence fan. Hopefully he helps change that defense, makes them serious. But again, I just love watching their offense. I really want Joe Burrow to stay healthy. He's such a fun player to watch when healthy. And I think if that's the case, I think he just energizes the team so much more. Just give me Bengals back in the AFC Championship. So we got one sad take, one negative take, I say, from Desmond for the Bengals fans. I'm giving the positivity for your Bengals fans. So
That's fair.
just say thank you, Alex, when your Bengals have success, and then you can flip off Desmond with
I mean,
emojis in our comment section.
all I'm trying to say is that you remember that year that Tom Brady threw 50 touchdowns and Randy Moss caught 23?
Yeah.
You need that
Yeah.
season for the Bengals this year
That's
in
what I
order for
want.
them to compete.
If a guy
Like,
can
Burrow
do it,
needs to throw 50, Jamar needs to catch 23, and then
More like
yes.
60-40.
That is called electric football that we love to watch that we haven't seen in a minute. Give me it. Give me that season, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
All
Except
right.
every offensive player is going to age 2 years in one season.
Because they're just getting, yeah,
It's based
pretty
on
much.
minutes.
Yeah,
Based on minutes.
just the window of the Bengals just shuts off after next year because everyone's just destroyed. Alex, what's your next headline?
All right, I'm going to go the other way this round. I predict that the Miami Dolphins will go 0-17.
Ooh,
Oh,
Yeah.
I buy
I
that.
feel so bad for them.
I'm looking at the schedule, guys, and I root for Malik Willis. I feel bad that this is the dump that he has to take on his chest in his first start position, but I don't see a game they could win. Maybe the Colts at Indy, but late into November, I don't know. I think they'll have something figured out. I don't see them winning a single game this year. They got to play Raiders, Niners, Chiefs, Vikings, Bengals, Jets, Patriots, Lions, Colts, Bills, Jets, Broncos, Bears, Packers, Chargers, Bills, Patriots. I don't see a win on there, boys. I'm sorry.
it's
I
going to be
agree.
a tough year for
No, I
Miami. I agree. I love Malik Willis.
Me too.
We all know why he signed with Miami. There was definitely better opportunities for him, but he took the bag. Which,
Don't
in all
feel
fairness,
bad for him. Don't feel
You
bad.
know,
for him.
I-
He could
Go
craft
make
every
that
moment.
money. He's rich
go
now.
make the money,
Yeah.
take the bag. We all know why he did it. He could have probably gone to Minnesota and had a winning season. Maybe Indianapolis. Who knows? He took the bag. He got his money. Props to him. But Alex, like you said, it is going to be a rough first year for him.
He's gonna be paying
I don't even know
hospital-
who he's throwing to. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea.
He doesn't
I
know
haven't
who he's
looked-
throwing to.
I have not
It's going to be that
looked
NFL
at
commercial
this
where he throws
Dolphins
to
team.
himself.
I have a all right. My grandma was a huge Dolphins fan, huge Dan Marino fan. I have a Dan Marino signed helmet, right? So like, there's times I look at the Dolphins. I haven't looked at them a single time this offseason, other than Malik Willis signing with them. I have no idea who's on that team, who's on the
Nobody
roster.
was-
I know they have
nobody-
HN, they have a good running. Like they have, I have no idea who Malik Willis is. That offense, I have no idea what's happening in Miami. It is going to be a brutal year, and also especially too, knowing that the Tua contract is going to have that team in cap hell for the next 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, where it's
Yeah,
going to be a little bit hard
3
for them to
years.
move her around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Brutal. It's going to be brutal
Yeah.
for Miami. again, hopefully there's some flashes from Malik where he shows that he can be your franchise guy, and I hope that's the promise at the end of the season for your Dolphins fans that Malik Willis is your guy, and you can start building a team around him. But yeah, right now it is not looking good
Not
in
good.
Miami at all. So I wouldn't be surprised by the headline at all, Brian. Alex, let's go. Brian, over to you. What's your final headline?
So if you thought Dallas was crazy and Desmond's Jets one was crazy and your Bengals one was crazy, I'm gonna have the craziest and that the Seattle Seahawks missed the playoffs and are the eighth seed in the NFC.
Ooh.
Mm.
And it's a simple fact. They lost key pieces on offense. Clint Kubiak's gone, the quarterback whisperer, right? Now you have to rely on Sam Darnold being Sam Darnold. The running back, who's the best player on the team, is gone. You got to rely on a rookie. A bunch of guys on defense were dislodged, offensive line as well. And now it's a more tension season, right? You just won, you got to prove it, right? The Super Bowl hangover. The Rams are the best team in the league now. You have to play them twice, week 16 and week 18. You have to play them, right, when it actually matters. And the schedule is brutal outside of that as well. Like New England game one, then you play LA in game the Chargers in four, followed by San Francisco, Denver, Kansas City, and Chicago, which is could be a very tough
That's a
four
tough
five
matchup, yeah.
weeks, right?
Yeah.
And then you go Dallas, New York, Philly, Rams, Carolina, Rams, and you could say, oh, the Giants, if they're a wild card team, can do some stupidity. It's a competitive game. Philadelphia is going to be a competitive game. Dallas always plays well against them, right? And then Carolina is a team that has a good defense now and could cause trouble for quarterbacks, right? And it's a former team against a former quarterback, right? So there's a lot of it's a very weird schedule in the sense of half the teams are very quality playoff teams, and the other half are a team that didn't make it but are showing upside. Where after a Super Bowl, I see some things happening where you're missing your guy that unlocked Darnold. You might miss it marginally. If
Okay.
not eighth, they're going to barely get in.
They do have a tough schedule. You
Yeah.
know, that
Yeah.
end of the year having to fly across the country to Philly and then coming back home having to fly across the country again, to Carolina. That I mean the travel takes a toll on people.
Yeah. It's Philly, LA, Carolina, LA. That's a long back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I think Seattle's a solid team, like I said, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Super Bowl hangover type season for them. And again, that Carolina game, we've seen them take West teams by surprise. We saw it with the
Mm-hmm.
Rams before. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised
Rams
again if
struggled
they
last
if
year.
they go, yeah, like if they go to Carolina and struggle against them with that travel. Because I think it was very similar with the Rams. They had a weird travel thing, and then they played Carolina and then thought they were gonna just steamroll through them. And Carolina was like, "Yeah, no, we're gonna show
Carolina
you why we're
almost
gonna
won
sneak
that
into
game.
the
We're
playoffs."
Yeah.
still
No, exactly. And like
Yeah,
I'm petrified of Chicago. I think they're the best
yeah,
team offensively in the league.
yeah.
I
yeah,
don't want to play Chicago and them coming off of mid, week eight where they're probably like 6-2 going into Seattle. That's a scary, scary game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely is for sure. Those were our headlines. Is there any other quick ones anyone wanted to say? Real quick,
No.
last second things? No, no, no. All right, we'll move along and get this thing going. But were our three headlines going into the season. Next thing we talked about it briefly, but now we're gonna dive into it a little bit more. We're gonna go breakout players. So again, start a training camp. The hype's around. The season's going. People are saying this player is looking through good at camp, great at camp. XYZ. It's only like 2 days of camp, guys. It's calming down. But again, this is why it's football. Everyone gets excited around this time of year. So we're going to talk about some breakout players. We have 2 to 3 each, so we'll just go around the horn. Brian, I'll start with you. Who is your first breakout player you're looking at this year?
I really like Bashal Tune, the second year running back in Jacksonville with ETN gone now. He's a bell cow running back when he gets carries. They call him a rising star on the team. And I see a lot of strength in him. He reminds me of like a Maurice Jones-Drew back in the day, and I really see that kind of style in him, and I want them to utilize him more, give relief for Trevor Lawrence, and I see him having a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, I like the tune pick a lot. Jacksonville's produced a lot of good running backs. There's a reason why they also moved on from ETN because they believe in Tootin. When he showed, and ETN I felt was getting a little. He had his flashes, but he was also getting kind of kicked out of the rotation at times last season because I think they wanted to see how these young guys were. Good pick, for a breakout player. I like it a lot too, and especially with how Jacksonville's offense is going to move going forward. Alex, who's your first breakout player you're looking at?
Colson Loveland, Chicago.
Mm.
Year two, he had 6 touchdowns last year, but 600 plus yards. Um, so excuse me, 713. Yeah, I think he's poised to make a breakout season. I think Ben's gonna kind of cook things up, target more in the middle of the field, specifically with some of the weaknesses, deficiencies on defense that Detroit and Green Bay have displayed in the last year or so. I think he's going to start targeting him and really making him kind of a focal centerpiece of the offense. So I think he's poised for a big breakout year.
Yeah. Like the Loveland pick a lot. We saw second half of the year, especially once Williams and him started getting on a little bit of rapport,
Right.
what that duo could be. We saw him make some incredible plays late down the stretch. Loveland, I think he had one of those crazy clutch throws from Caleb Williams where all of us were like, what the hell was that? And we could see what happens going forward. But that's a good pick. I love Loveland as well. I love them coming out of the draft. I think it just took a little bit of time, a little bit longer than what some people expected for Williams and him to click. But once they did, we saw the flashes. So good pick there, Alex. Desmond, who is your breakout player?
Got Jadarian Price, running back for the Seahawks. He was the number two back behind Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame. When he did see the field, he looked absolutely great, which is why the Seahawks took him with like their number one pick this year. They obviously they lose Kenneth Walker to the
Hmm.
Chiefs. Zach Charbonnet tore his ACL last year and didn't get his surgery until February. So he's going to be out until at least November. Even once he comes back, he might be hobbled coming back 9 months after an ACL injury for a running back. So I think Jadarian Price will be the number one on this team for probably the whole season. And yeah, they might, I mean, if Brian's prediction holds up, they're an eighth seed in the NFC, but I still think this guy's going to have plenty of opportunity to shine this season. I think he might be the offensive player of the year, rookie of the year.
Yeah. Again, we saw the reason why they went running back with the draft. Again, with some of the key players departing, some of the injuries, the running back room. Like that pick for sure, especially with the way Seattle likes to run the ball. He's an explosive player. Keep an eye out for him. I'm going to stay running back. This one might be a little bit obvious. I know we talked in the pre-show, and I wrote it down. I'm going with Alex's team. I'm going Ashton Genty being the breakout player. We saw flashes late in the year from Genty, what we expected out of the draft from him, but it wasn't a full season of magic that I think a lot of us anticipated and hoped for, especially Alex as a Raider fan. I'm going into year two, new head coach, new style, new play style. I think it's going to work out for him with the Raiders. I think he's going to be a key focal point. I feel like last year at times, there were times he was getting the ball and then they would make him switch his stance. Then they would have him away from the ball, and there was a whole weird thing where he just couldn't get comfortable. I think this year they scrap all that, get him in a way where he is comfortable and can dominate. So keep an eye out for Ashton Genty, year number two for the Raiders. All right, we have a couple other breakout players we want to discuss. So I'll start with Alex on this one. Who is your second breakout player to keep an eye out for?
Sticking with the backs, I'm taking Amari and Hampton, Chargers.
Okay.
4 touchdowns last year. You got Mike McDaniel back in the into the building now as the OC. And you got that nice, beautiful fusion of new school and old school with Harbaugh. I think if you're gonna unlock the true potential of this offense, some of this stuff has to come off Herbert's shoulders. We've browbeat him to death on the show about the expectations not fulfilling in the playoffs. I think they really need to put that running game in supercharge, and I think it starts with Hampton.
Solid pick there for sure. Again, I know he got hurt midway through the year last year.
Mm-hmm.
That threw some things out of right, but again, also saw some flashes from him. But yeah, I think
And
this
he'll
year,
bounce back from injury quick because he's a second-year guy out of college.
second year guy is young,
Yeah.
all that. Like I said, I think we're going to keep an eye out for him for sure. Guy to look out for. I think a lot of people are looking out for Marion Hampton. So solid choice there. Desmond, who's your second breakout player you're looking at?
Gonna be a little bit of a homer here, but I'm taking Makai Lemon.
Mm.
I think that the loss of AJ Brown kind of like puts an obvious, gaping hole in our offensive needs. I do think that, the new offensive coordinator we got from Green Bay is going to help this passing game along a little bit. I don't think that Jalen Hurts is as bad as everyone outside of Philadelphia seems to think that he is. I really do believe that he just needs specific coaching. I saw when Kellen Moore was here, when, Shane Steichen was here, I mean, his numbers looked a lot better. So I think it just depends on the system. I think he needs a certain structure in order to be a really strong quarterback. And I do think that Mekhi Lemon, everything I saw out of USC, this guy's amazing. Let's just like create the right structure, and I think he can really flourish. So, and I think that is going to happen this year.
No, I agree. It's
Yeah,
a good one.
I agree with that pick as well. Uh, Definitely was nervous seeing him go to Philly when he got drafted because I said they
Sir.
got a special talent there. So keep an eye out for him. Solid pick for breakout player as well. Brian, I'll go with you. Who's your next breakout player?
So I changed it up. I have the former Tennessee Titan tight end going to Washington, Chig Okonkwo.
Hmm.
Mm.
I think he's top three most athletic tight end in the league right now. And I think having a quarterback with Jaden Daniels, I see him going for 1,000. And you finally have Scary Terry getting that number two offensive guy on that team that could really be reliable to take heat off of him. I'm expecting him to have a huge season.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't hate it. We know the Commanders like to have their tight sets in the past, especially no matter how old their tight ends were. I feel like Jaden likes having that as a safety blanket. And unfortunately, his key guy got hurt late last year with a serious injury. We all felt bad when that happened too because he was playing very well leading up to that point. So I don't hate that pick at all. I think he's going to be a key focal point, nice safety blanket for Jaden Daniels going in to his what does that be? Jay Neal's third year? Does it be his third year? Second year?
Yeah,
Third
third.
year. Third
Third.
year. Third year. As again, people are thinking for a bounce back year, following a little bit of a slump year. My second player, I'm being a little bit homer here as well. I'm going Darius Alexander, defensive tackle for the New York Giants. As my breakout player there. The loss of Dexter Lawrence, his role is going to definitely increase this year. He showed flashes last year, especially in games where I was just there watching and scouting him and seeing him play. He's just a big guy, a lot of strength. I really like his style of play. I think he developed well, and I think under Harbaugh, he's going to be a key contributor. And again, like I said, with Lawrence gone, there's some veterans coming into the defensive tackle room, but he's one of the young guys that should be stepping up, and I think he's going to learn a lot from the veterans. So keep an eye out for Darius Alexander, defensive tackle for the Giants. We have, I think, three each. I have a third, but I'll go over. If people don't, we can always move around. But Desmond, I'll go with you. Do you have
Yeah.
another one?
Yeah, I got one last one. Mike Evans, going from Tampa Bay to San Francisco. I think that this guy, besides last year when he broke his collarbone on a horrific catch, actually, he still caught that ball, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
he he didn't have 1,000 yards last season, but he every other season of his career he had 1,000 yards. This guy's going into the Hall of Fame. Him in Shanahan's structure on San Francisco, to which is absolutely loaded with talent when they're not injured by that weird electrical plant next to
The
their
substation,
stadium.
yeah.
Got to get rid of that.
But
Who
no,
needs power?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I do think that it's set up for him to have a breakout season as the true number one wide receiver on that team. You still have Kittle, you still have McCaffrey. I think it could be a really big year for him.
Yeah, and I think some people are going to look at it and be like, he's the vet, he's a breakout kind of guy. Like, I think for us, him moving teams and coming back to the Mike Evans is what we consider a breakout. People listening and being like, this is weird, you're not going with a young guy or whatever. Desmond is just saying he's breaking out, he's the Mike Evans
Alternative breakout.
alternative,
Yeah,
a different version of the breakout, which is why
yeah.
we love it. Which is why we love the Mike Evans pick, San Francisco. I loved it. It was outside the box, so yeah, love that pick as well. Alex, who's your third breakout player?
Um, I was really struggling with this because there's a lot of options, but depending on how this offseason goes in the recovery, there's been a lot of speculation in the news. But I'm really looking to see how Ricky Pearsall comes back from injury with
Mm.
Hmm.
as well. Again, not a guy that really comes up a lot in the news, particularly headline news with highlights and whatnot. But I think he's a really important asset for Shanahan. This past year in his absence, he's really been a big contributor. And if he gets back healthy, I think that he's going to be an important piece to if they want to repeat back to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I think again, hope he stays healthy. He showed again some flashes here and there.
Yeah.
Definitely could be a reliable target for sure. So I agree with you there, Alex. Good pick with Pearsall. Brian, who's your third?
So my final guy is the hometown guy for me in Dallas. Donovan Ezeraku, the second year
Mm.
defensive end at a Boston college.
Mm.
Last season he put up 40 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, 36 pressures with 22 hurries, and has a halftime starter and ranked 38th out of 115 in DMs. So only starting half the season, the rest of it being a rotation guy, you're still like the number 2 defensive end then on a team. So I think in a scheme like this, where now he's going to outside linebacker, more of an edge guy, in Christian Parker's defense, I'm expecting him to hit like a 7-8 sack thing for me with a bunch of pressures, that's exactly what we need. So
Yeah, yeah, good pick there. Again, we talked a little bit at length of what the Cowboys need. They need people stepping up on the defensive end. He could be a key guy. That's a solid pick. My third one, I was between two people. I didn't know if I wanted to go back-to-back homers, but the reason why I was going to go back-to-back homers, I was going to potentially pick Odell. But the thing is, I don't
oh,
know
it'd
if
be
he's
so
going to
nice.
make it out of camp. He's looking good right now, but I don't know if he's going to make the team. So I'm not going to pick him, even though I really kind of want to because it would just be fun. But I'm going to go with a guy who's been talked about at length. We talked about him briefly with the Chicago Bears, and that's Luther Burden in the third. He
Yeah.
has been hyped up a lot this offseason. Everyone says he's looking great. His route running has been crisp. His head coach has been praising him, saying to buy stock in Luther Burden. You know what that means. He's going to be looked at as one of the key contributors on the Chicago Bears team. So again, if you're a big fantasy person, you're a big betting person, look at some Luther Burden stock. Look and see what's happening over there, betting wise or fantasy wise. You might
He's on my
get some
draft board.
talent depth. Yeah, he's on
Yeah.
my draft board too. So keep an eye out for Luther Burden for sure. He's a guy that I think could be a contributor for the Chicago Bears offense, especially with all the praise he's getting this early in training camp. So those are our breakout guys. We'll do updates throughout the year and see if we were smart or if we were fools. Last year, we were pretty solid, I feel, with our breakout picks
Yeah.
Yeah.
overall as a squad.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out. Again, we had some fun times when we were making fun of people on the podcast for some of their picks and their takes. So keep an eye for that. But moving along, like I said, training camp has already started, and unfortunately, there's been some good news, but also unfortunately, been some bad news with injuries already piling up. So let me get this in front of me because it is a list. Right now, some injuries and key notables. Tua Tagovailoa hasn't been practicing yet. He's working through back stiffness. So the Falcons currently don't have a quarterback. They have two guys. They have Cooper Rush who just signed. Can't think who their third string was currently. I'll get it.
Michael Penix, yeah, with ACL.
Michael Penix Tua, but there's a third guy and Cooper Rush.
Okay.
Their third. I can't think of who their third string in the Falcons is in the quarterback room right now.
It's Uncle
Uh,
Rico from
yeah.
Jack. They have
So
Jack Strand,
yes, Ren.
whoever
There it
that
is.
is. Do you
Whoever
know
that
who
is.
that is?
No clue who that is. So
Korea's already started.
they just have two guys just floating around playing quarterback during their practices. So not great in Falcon land. Nick Soren, this was the big one early in training camp. I think it was day one for the Panthers, second year linebacker. They were hoping for a big year from him. He tore his ACL in his right knee. So he'll be out, unfortunately, for the year. This today, again, I think was sneaky bad news for you Saint fans and people who are invested in the Saints. Brian Breesy, defensive tackle, sneakily one of the best defensive tackles in football. He tore his ACL today. So just, again, huge loss for the Saints. And then we talked about it briefly with the Bengals. Shamar Stewart, there's a video out there from practice. It does not look pretty. He got carted off the field with a serious leg injury. We don't have an update yet, but he's looking like he's also out for the year. And then with the Panthers again, another bad injury with their rookie, their wide receiver out of third round, Chris Brazil the second. He suffered a torn LCL surgery, tear in his left knee. He's out potentially 8 weeks to start the year. So Panther, two big losses. There's a couple other names we said. Ricky Pearsall, he's just not practicing right now. He's experienced swelling with his PCL injury that he sustained last season, so we'll keep an eye out for him. But we're only a couple days in. There's some major injury news for these teams out of training camp. So Desmond, I'll just go to you first. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts so far on some of these key injuries that are already happening in the training camp?
Um, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's another indictment, I think, on whatever we are doing with the NFL as far as like off-season strength conditioning. Have to also look at the grass condition. I mean, that was a big deal going on in the World Cup. too much turf out there. We get some more grass in there for the help with all these leg injuries, knee injuries. Like it's an epidemic, honestly, of knee injuries in the NFL.
Yeah.
I will say on a positive note, Eagles re-signed Jalen Carter
Yep.
to a massive deal. I'm not sure how we constantly have cap room for all these big deals. I feel like our accountant is doing some shady stuff. That's cool with me.
You're circumventing the cap. You're somehow, some way.
They
Yeah,
are
we're gonna
playing
find
money
something.
tricks. The
Yeah.
accountant for the Eagles is definitely the real MVP of the team because somehow we just keep re-signing everyone to big contracts, and we
Yep.
should not have this much money, and yet somehow we do. So that was good news
Yep.
so far at training camp. Sorry, Vita Vea and Buccaneers fans.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. There's a lot happening. Again, injuries, trade for Vita Vea. We said we didn't talk about Vita Vea. Requested a trade. Baker Mayfield didn't get his contract extended, so we talked about that. He's
Bucks are in a bad
playing out
place.
the rest of his contract this year. So Bucks land, it's a little there's some drama happening there. Again, it's only a few days into training camp. We already have a lot of pieces. Again, the positive news again, Jalen Carter getting his money. I'm blanking on Denzel Ward also got his
Yep.
extension. Really cool video out there if you guys see. He wasn't really told that it was finalized. I think he was on the sideline of the practice field, and someone ran up and kind of told him like, "Hey, man, you just got your extension. Congratulations!" And you can kind of see like the emotion that took place. A cool video there. So there's some positive news, but again, I just listed all those injuries. So Alex, I'll go to you. What are your kind of thoughts so far? The injury scares that are already taking place in training camp, as well as some of the other news we broke down.
Yeah, I mean, insult to injury, no pun intended. I think the Alec Pierce wide receiver loss was huge too for Indianapolis. It was a couple
Mhm.
days
Yeah,
back point,
here's
but
another one. Yeah,
that really
Jesus.
sucks. And then the defensive end for Carolina Scorton too. I mean, the young guy looking like a contributor on the defensive side of the ball. That's a big loss. I totally, want to second what everything Desmond said. League makes so much effing money. Put the right pieces in place for these guys to avoid as much injury as possible.
yeah,
These resources should never be an issue. The TV contracts, the merchandise, like it baffles me that there are still when players expressly tell the league and ownership and their strength and conditioning, hey, like I need this or I need this accommodation. But when it's across the board, like we need grass or we need, this kind of expectation and standard with our training facilities, like just give it to them. What are we waiting for?
It's grass, man. It's
If
not
you
even
don't,
expensive.
yeah, yeah.
it should be cheaper.
It's
Yeah.
training field grass.
And again, your best ability is your availability. It doesn't help the organization to have an injured asset. So
No.
it doesn't make any sense for me. I'm kind of lost for words. But again, it is also concerning that again, it's a lot of knees, a lot of MCLs, a lot of ACLs, long recovery times. And again, younger and younger players, like these aren't popping at 30, 29 years old. There's a lot of younger guys.
Yeah.
Not sure what that really is. It's definitely concerning. I don't remember seeing that, younger in my years watching football as a kid. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a sediment in sports. It's just faster, stronger, quicker.
Yeah.
But at the same
But a lot
time,
of these are
we're seeing
non-contact
they're
injuries.
not uncontact. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like a weird, fluky, non-contact. Again, some of these teams are
People
playing on
don't know.
turf,
You
some of
guys
these are
hear me,
playing on
right?
grass. But what was that, Brian?
Do you guys hear me? My microphone died.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
you. We got you. Yeah,
People don't know how to move anymore.
yeah, yeah.
And
Well,
I'm,
now
and
you
that's,
sound like you smoked 2 packs, so
no, yeah. No, listen, people don't know how to people don't know how to move anymore. And a big thing that I've noticed is over time, as strength and conditioning has gone into more micro, right? And fine niche, isolated, isometric exercises, knee injuries and joint injuries have gone up. When you're constantly not doing full body exercise and you're just isolating one area, you're putting massive fatigue on it when it's not supposed to do it, right? Throughout
Mm.
all our human history, workouts were full body exercises. There wasn't the idea of a bench press when the Spartans were in 300 in Thermopylae. No, they did calisthenics and they did long distance running and outdoor labor work, and that's why they look like that, right? And throughout time, as we've gone more and more isometric, you see injuries. Why? I'm putting 315 pounds on my spine and I'm squatting at 40 reps every single day. That's going to do something to me eventually. Look at Ronnie Coleman. He's in a wheelchair now, right? So they want to know why all these injuries are occurring. Maybe it's the technique in which you're doing it.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a good point. I think there's a lot of things that we could put into factors, like you said, Brian. All that, again, conditions of the field where these guys are, if grass, turf. A lot of these guys are playing about turf, especially poor quality, and I'm assuming half these training facilities at these random schools and colleges probably don't have their optimized, fields and everything. And a lot of
Yeah.
the guys say they're when they take a certain step, sometimes their foot they want to move, but their foot that stays, right? And so again, we're seeing these knee injuries, we're seeing these weird fluke things because they go to do a turn or whatever, and their foot the turf doesn't give, and we're seeing what happened now. But I completely agree with you too, Brian, with some of the things with these isolated workouts and these certain things where these guys are doing all these crazy athletic feats, but they're only focusing and putting strain on certain parts of their body, and we're seeing the results of what's happening. And it's not just football; it's across all professional sports. There's
Yeah.
people who've done the same thing where they just focus on one thing, and then it's just too much stress in their body, and their body starts to fall apart. You
And
want to look at
I'll
golf, yeah,
agree. I'll agree with the turf. My football career ended before it even started in college, right? Because of a non-contact
yeah,
ACL injury, and it occurred because I was playing left defensive end, and a guy was going from left guard to trap me,
yeah,
and I got my foot caught in turf, and I could
yeah,
not get my cleat out.
yeah,
And that's just a cost of doing business, right?
yeah,
That
Yeah.
doesn't happen on grass. Grass slides
yeah,
Yeah.
has
yeah,
mud underneath it, has soil. And also, here's another big thing, and not even on injuries, just with turf. Anyone who's ever played a full season on turf, a month later, you're gonna cough and find a piece of turf in a napkin because it's
yeah,
somehow you ingested it.
yeah,
And anyone who's played a football on turf for seasons
yep,
knows exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah,
This stuff is not good for you. It's literally recycled tires.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's
yeah,
terrible to play
it's
on.
terrible. And again,
It
a lot
really
of
is.
people, a
Yeah.
lot of people are like, you know, oh, the World Cup on these certain stadiums, and they got grass because the players demanded it, but also FIFA kind of demands it's the grass fields. A lot of players at times have been like, well, I'm
Mhm.
not, I refuse to play on turf. Like Lionel Messi is like, I'm not playing on turf. Like whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
But like they did it for a whole World Cup. You have billions of dollars. Teams, please, like figure it out. Like and I understand for like even if I'm looking at locally with MetLife, I understand you have concerts, you have things like there's innovations now. You see it across other stadiums and other football stadiums where they can just roll out a grass freaking field and then just roll it
Take it
back to
back
whatever
out.
facility,
Take it right
put it
back
under
out.
the lights, whatever the hell,
Raiders
water
Stadium.
it, whatever the hell you need to
Yeah,
do, and then you still
yeah.
have your freaking concerts on your concrete floor. Like, get it done, NFL. It's getting kind of ridiculous, and I hope again we're only 2 days in training camp. We're supposed to be excited going into this season, and we're already seeing major injuries and two involving one team, and we're
Yeah.
Mhm.
2 days into training camp. Like
I would like to see the
that's
NFL
crazy.
do a study on the cost of it is to maintain
Yeah,
turf and then grass in a single season, and then compare it to the insurance that they have to pay out for all these contracts that end up causing
yeah,
issues because of injuries.
yeah,
I want to
They
yeah.
see
said
what that is.
Totally.
they said it already. The cost to maintain grass would be about $13 million a year.
I'm pretty sure that
That's all it
I'm
would
pretty sure
cost.
George
Yeah.
Kittle and who's a big guy on it, and three other guys in the NFL would do salary cuts to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
The only
it's really
yeah.
egregious. I mean, because honestly, especially if you think of MetLife particularly, like you have two billionaires who share that
Yeah.
stadium. Like you
Yeah.
guys could split that cost.
Yeah. But
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 also,
also but
but also
also I was gonna say
the
that
players are
yeah.
millionaires, and they have an NFLPA. Like everyone has dues for NFLPA. 13 million across what's 32 times 52, and if you really just want to do it across the starters, right,
Yeah, no, it should
is
be it should be very
704
doable.
Yeah.
people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if you do that 13 million dollars, right, over 704 people, it's $18,500 across every starter in the NFL. That's like a one that's less than
To have
a
a game that's
stage
less than a game check.
less
That's
than a game
more
check.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah, it's
also on
way
the
less than a game
players.
check.
If you want it,
Yeah.
show money.
Yeah.
Anything, unfortunately, that's how this league works.
Yeah. The only place I would say that might be hard to consistently maintain it would be MetLife because there's potentially two games, whatever, but you could still stagger your schedule where you can still make sure it's being
I mean, it could be
maintained
a
and
shit field. The
updated.
Raiders used to play on a dirt baseball field.
That's
Like
what I'm
every
saying too. Yeah,
you
just play the
every
freaking
you take the
Coliseum.
The
little
old Coliseum.
listen. You get the bottle of Man Up and you take it and you deal with the bad condition.
Yeah. And hell, people forget. Remember freaking was it the Rams with the freaking like tarp on the sidelines? And who blew out their knee running onto the remember you guys remember that they had the slippery sideline? I think it was
Oh,
St.
Reggie
Louis.
Bush did it. Reggie
And
Bush
someone like
slipped
ran
and
and they
tore his
like
ACL.
ate shit on it and they tore their ACL or something and they bitched and constantly about it and then eventually it got moved.
Yeah.
So it's like, can we just have like a league wide just be like, we ain't playing on turf anymore. Give us freaking grass. Like,
Great
I don't know.
place to end the conversation for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick. But yeah, that's gonna. Oh, real quick thing, and then we'll end it here. Just news that popped up before we did our recording. Taysom Hill said he is not returning back to the Saints. After 9 seasons with them, he will become a free agent. So we'll see what happens with Taysom Hill. Maybe he will fight for a grass field across the. Maybe he'll be the champion for us for
Maybe
getting
he'll be
grass fields.
maybe he'll be the starting quarterback in Miami by week 9.
Yeah, who knows? There we
Probably.
go. And that's how we tie everything together here on the Yards
We
After
sure
the
do.
Catch podcast. I want to thank Desmond, Alex, and Brian for joining me. This has been a blast. Stay tuned, everyone. Training camp is here. We'll have more news, hopefully more positive news going forward as we're getting ready for the season. But please follow us everywhere. Our bio, there's a link in our bio on our Instagram. We are like everywhere now, thanks to Desmond. So please make sure you like and subscribe. We'll be dropping NFL content almost every week. So pretty much stay tuned. We're getting excited. Can't wait to see you guys there. And thank you again for tuning in to this edition of Yards After the Catch. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.